This is the story of Samson, a man of God's calling, a force of nature, and a hero whose greatest battles were not only against the Philistines, but against himself. This is Zorah, a village in Israel, ruled by Philistines. Quiet and ordinary, children run through the streets, and farmers tend the fields, unaware that something extraordinary is about to begin from this woman, the wife of Manoah. Inside one small home, a woman works her daily tasks, her mind elsewhere. For years she has longed for a child, and each moment is filled with hope. Her hands trace the shape of the child she has yet to hold. She does not know when he will come, but she believes that her prayers are being heard. When she looks at the stars, she feels a quiet certainty that her prayers will be answered. She wept when an angel appeared and told her that she would soon conceive and give birth to a son. This child would be set apart from the beginning, chosen for a purpose greater than she could imagine. But his head is never to be touched by a razor. Now, those prayers had been answered. Fear and wonder filled her at the same time. She knew this moment would change her life forever. The time finally came. He was strong and healthy, yet still a newborn, innocent and small. Joy and awe filled their hearts. From the start, Samson had strength unlike anyone else. Even as a boy, he lifted logs twice his size, ran through forests, and wrestled with animals, all in playful joy. He helped those in need, saving children and aiding villagers, fearless and kind beyond his years. He climbed the tallest trees with ease, careful not to break the branches, rescuing helpless birds from their nests. The forest became his playground, where he ran faster than deer, tumbled with calves, and lifted even the heaviest logs as if they were feathers. But as he grew, though the villagers adored him, his power set him apart. Friends drifted away, unsure of his difference. Alone, he wondered if he truly belonged. The other kids kept their distance, wary of his power. Even in a crowd, he felt apart, his laughter quieter, his heart heavier. For all his strength, Samson knew the ache of solitude, until his mother reminded him that strength is a gift, meant for a purpose greater than fear. Also that he was her answered prayer. And so even in solitude, Samson's heart remained steadfast, growing into the hero he was destined to become. Samson grew rapidly, his strength multiplying every year.
If this story moved you, stand with us, like this video, subscribe, and witness more legends unfold.
Samson moved through the streets of Timnah, a stranger in enemy land, scanning the crowds, aware of the city's watchful gaze. She walked with quiet confidence, unbothered by the bustle around her. Among strangers and shadows, her gaze was steady, as if nothing could startle her. Two souls from different lands recognized a spark that neither could ignore. Her gaze met his, steady and unafraid, and something unspoken passed between them. The seed of love and the conflict to come had been planted. Timnah was enemy land, and his desire troubled his parents, yet his resolve was firm and his heart was set. They started their journey. Danger struck without warning. A young lion leapt from the shadows, roaring as it charged toward Samson. Samson did not flee. The lion lunged at him, claws raised and jaws wide. Strength beyond his own surged through him, and he seized the lion with his bare hands. In that moment, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. With unyielding strength, Samson caught the beast and tore it apart, and when the dust settled, he felt proud, but he spoke of it to no one. When the time came for the marriage, Samson returned to Timnah, the enemy land. What began as desire now became commitment. His parents still show up with mixed feelings toward a union that would change his life and ignite conflict beyond his knowing. The marriage set the stage for conflict, as it intertwined his personal choices with the ongoing tension between the Israelites and Philistines. During the wedding feast, Samson challenged the guests with a riddle, which was from his secret victory. The guests, desperate to win, threatened the bride, asking her for the answer. Samson got furious knowing that the bride caved in. He knew he was betrayed by her. It was not about winning, it was the betrayal. Rage and heartbreak burned within Samson. His trust had been shattered, and his joy turned to fury. Without a word, he left Timnah at once, his heart wounded and his spirit stirred for vengeance. What had begun in love ended in anger, and the conflict had only just begun. Samson's heart was wounded. His fights often reflected a defense of his personal identity and Israelite pride and not divine calling. Philistines often raided Israelite towns, stole crops, and oppressed the local population. Knowing that enemies have creeped in, Samson sprinted with might. He remembered who he was meant to be. Strength was more of pride. He had the courage to stand for his people. Samson struck with precision, not anger, and each victory came from courage, not cruelty. The villagers hiding behind the trees cheered for Samson. The enemies grew fearful as hope rose among the people. They realized this was no ordinary man. He was chosen, protected, and unafraid. He was celebrated by the villagers. Through hardship, Samson was chosen, not only as a warrior, but as a judge of Israel. Delilah moved with a quiet grace. Her eyes held a charm that could disarm even the strongest of men. He turned his gaze toward her, and she smiled. Though it concealed careful calculation, Samson did not know of her plans. Since no army alone could defeat him, she became the primary means through which the Philistines could overpower Samson. He spoke of strength and freedom, of battles fought and burdens carried. She heard more than his words. She understood the longing beneath them. And in that understanding, she found her advantage. She knew what gave him power. Delilah, she would become the one who could unravel it all. Samson slept deeply, unaware of the world beyond the warm glow of the room. His chest rose and fell steadily. Delilah watched him quietly. The servant made an entry with the scissors. Servant stepped forward, cautious and deliberate, guided only by Delilah's silent gesture. The servant's hands hovered, careful not to disturb him, ready to act on the command that would change everything. Hair severed, that had never known a blade. They fell in quiet surrender to the bed beneath him. Strength, long taken for granted, slipped away like water through his fingers. A strange weakness pulled at him, a heaviness he had never known. The Philistines filled the doorway, weapons glinting in the morning light. They had waited for this moment, surrounding the man who had once seemed invincible. Samson rose, trying to push them back, but his arms, once powerful enough to tear gates from their hinges, were now weak and trembling, robbed of sight. Alone in the darkness of the prison, Samson, grinding grain from dawn until dusk, whispered prayers and remembered the covenant he had once honored. Though his hair was gone and his body weak, a spark of hope and vengeance lingered. His story was far from over. Samson remembered his mother's words, that he was her answered prayer. His hair slowly started growing. They brought him to the temple of Dagon, their god, as part of a public celebration of triumph over Israel. The pillars represented the power and pride of the Philistines. Samson positioned himself there, prayed one last time, and destroyed the enemy from within their own stronghold. The entire temple collapsed. Thus, he killed more at his death than he had during his life. Samson's purpose was to be God's instrument for delivering Israel from the Philistines, showing that divine power can work through human weakness, flaws, and courage.